What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well. Today's talk is going to be about collectors and investors. What defines you as a collector or investor, and is it possible that you could somehow sit in the middle and be a bit of a hybrid? A lot of new people have entered the hobby with these recent price increases, and I know a lot of people in the community are sort of voicing their opinions about there's way more investors than there used to be. Years ago, it was full of just more collectors that were all about, finishing sets, collecting cards for nostalgic reasons, and more just in it for the fun rather than the money. So it's a very interesting topic that I've wanted to cover for a little while. Let's get on with it. So we're going to start with an investor, and to really get into this we need to know exactly the definition of what an investor is, whether it's Pokemon or anything else. So as per Google, an investor is someone who allocates capital with the expectation of a future financial return. So the way I see that, if someone was an investor in Pokemon, they are making purchases, they are buying, whether it's sealed products, raw cards, graded cards, whatever they're purchasing, they're buying that with the intent, with the speculation that this will go up in price and they will take that back out and take a profit and make money. They're putting money into it and they're hoping that just does what it does, which at the moment it does, and they're going to take it back out and have more money. That is purely what an investor would be defined as in the Pokemon market. So I think it goes without saying that you can have a bit of a mindset where you feel like a bit of both. Like, you're collecting it because you love it, it's nostalgic, but you also have some hopes that it will go up in value and the money you've put in will be worth more. Because that's always nice to know, especially if there's like an emergency or anything like that and you did need to sell. But I think the best way to look at it is when you make those individual purchases, what is the intention there? What are you really thinking about when you purchase that? Are you thinking, okay, this is a great price, maybe in 6 months, a year, even if it's 10 years or 20 years that you're thinking of selling that to make a return? That's a staple investment, right? You're putting money in and you're trying to take it out. That doesn't mean you can't be an investor and still appreciate the cards, the artwork, and the fun of it. But for me, I truly believe it's the intention of when you buy that item. Are you intending to hold on to that and collect it and keep it forever? If you are, then you're a collector. You're purely collecting that and your main priority isn't price. If you're an investor, your main priority is price. You've bought that with the intention of making money. Doesn't mean you can't kind of sometimes sit in between and, like I said, appreciate the art, but also invest. And it actually comes down to each individual purchase. You can purchase something one week purely to invest in. You can then purchase something the next week that you want to add to your collection. There's nothing saying you have to be one or the other. It is more of a spectrum, and it kind of comes down to, the percentage of your purchases, how many of them are for investing and how many are to keep for your collection. Me, for example, about 90 to 95% of what I own and what I've bought is to keep in my collection. I intend to keep this forever if I can. And, there is a 5 to 10% of items I own or have purchased before that I obtain purely to try and make profit from. Maybe I can see an opportunity and think something's undervalued and in a year's time it would be worth more. It might be an item that I don't particularly have much interest in, but if I see that opportunity, I can take that. And then with the profit, I then can add more to my collection. So with a kind of 90-10 split, I'm very much more collector focused, right? But you can have people that are completely opposite and, have a little interest in Pokemon and have a few items that they want to keep, but the majority of it, 90% of it, they might have only bought with the intention of making money. And obviously you can then sit in the middle. You could have a 50-50 split between half of your items have been purchased with that intention and half of them you're looking to keep. So there definitely is a spectrum. There's not necessarily a fine line for your whole collection or purchases. It's down to really each individual purchase and then how many of them you've made and how many sit on the investor side and collector side as to where you probably sit on a spectrum between the two. Anyway guys, that is my opinion on it. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. And if there is a video or anything you want me to cover specifically, just let me know and hopefully I can get something sorted. Please do hit subscribe, like the video, and if you're feeling really brave, hit that notification bell because there will be more videos coming and you won't want to miss them. Until next time guys, take care.